A warm welcome to all the listeners. Listen to the Blue Horse. Dr.C.K.N. is in conversation with Pooja. I'm sure you'll enjoy this session, and I'm sure it's going to be some food for your thought.
Good afternoon, everybody. Back with Mr. Blue Horse. How are we today?
Good, Pooja.
So, I've been thinking about food, how it dictates. What we eat, does it have an effect on our mood, our health? And if it does, can we choose food that will help us remain happy and positive through the day or through the life? Is that possible, Mr. Blue Horse?
This is a very interesting question to begin with. Okay.
Yeah.
Question is very simple, but I don't know how many people can have their thoughts on this issue. What should be my food? What is food directly related to my mood? One thing is very, very simple for anybody, for them to understand straight. The thought pattern of a human brain is directly related to your food.
Fantastic.
The thinking process.
So can we alter moods with food? Is it possible?
We'll come to that little later for you to understand the basics. So whatever food that you eat, finally it reaches the blood, right?
Yes.
So it gets digested in the stomach and then it goes through the duodenal to the intestines, get absorbed there. Through the portal vein it will come to the liver only. It cannot go anywhere.
Okay.
Liver process everything and send it out in the main bloodstream. They can be only monomers. Monomers mean single molecules.
Okay.
There cannot be a double molecule, which is not accepted by the absorption. Absorption is not allowed. So, when the food comes into your blood, with respect to monomers, the conversion part of these molecules are hardly understood.
Okay.
Other than the glucose transport and all that stuff. Body is an amazing machine which can do alchemy.
Yeah.
If suppose a lot of calcium has come in through your food, more than required, less of iron has come in. The body wants more of iron. The required calcium is taken for its purpose. The balance excess calcium is converted into iron and taken.
Converted, huh? Wow.
So it's an atomic change. It's an anabolic activity, which is very, very important. This we cannot see it, screen it and see it. That's what's happening out there. Body is also a subatomic unit. It works at the proton and the electron level. What is an antioxidant? An antioxidant is nothing other than to address the free radical which is looking around for an electron.
Okay.
Proton and electron are all the subatomic particles. Electrons are always there in pair.
Yeah.
When an antioxidant is a type of component where there are few pairs of electrons, one electron is not having a pair. So there's a single electron out there. So it becomes restless. Start damaging many things inside. So your vitamin C and all that has an extra electron to spare, right? An antioxidant is got an extra electron to spare.
Okay.
So it will give that extra electron to that radical, free radical, and that becomes a pair in the free radical. So they become calm. You follow?
Yeah.
This is an antioxidant, nothing else.
Okay.
This and all you can go and study in the iron biochemistry. What's been studied so far. So coming back to food, your food has to be somewhat balanced.
All the macros.
In the sense, there are only three major things like carbohydrate, protein and fat. You should keep aside this. So the food begins with mother's milk when the baby is born and goes on to some traditional foods what they feed you. Maybe if you're a South Indian, to begin with rice and dal with ghee and all that kind of thing. Slowly after certain time, 1 year later or something, they start feeding you. If you're a non-vegetarian, non-veg and all that. If you're a vegetarian, all your vegetables will all come into play. Right. So this is the food which we are being trained to eat. Because you have no choice as a child, right? You're fed by the mother, or the old people at home, your grandparents or whatever. So there's a set of foods are given to you. So if you carefully look at it, we all of us around the world break our food into three parts, like breakfast, lunch and dinner. So we have a set of breakfast, we have a set of lunch, we have a set of dinner, right?
Yeah.
So we are used to some kind of food according to your geography, according to your socio-economic status, according to your culture. We follow certain food. So what your grandparents have practiced your parents when they were children, what your parents have practiced you when you are a newborn child. slowly when you're growing up. And when you become a mother and you start practicing the same. So we are said to practice certain food in our lifetime as we grow. So according to the development part of the human body, till the age of 18, you're growing, maybe even 19, when you reach your adulthood, right?
Yes.
Till then, you are used to some set of foods, your breakfast, lunch and dinner. Your exposure to eating outside is much lesser.
Okay.
At home, what is importantly, you've been given to eat, the breakfast, lunch and dinner. The microbiome part of the body, the lactobacillus bacteria in the stomach, they are used to that food because they have to process the food coming in. Okay? Unless they process that food in total, then that becomes a part of your digestion. Not only grinding into pulp by the stomach. You got it?
Got it.
And that is what is absorbed properly by the intestines. And this flow of food into your mainstream of blood, and the blood when it flows in your brain, it has its own impact on your thinking process.
Okay. How?
Because the food is directly related to the human thought. Because this is the blood which is flowing in your brain, right? The brain is 1400 kilos, 1400 grams, 1.4 kg. And it has billions of neurons of different types. The cortex, the cerebrum, and the thalamus, hypothalamus, your pituitary gland is there, your pineal gland is there, your cerebellum is there, your medulla oblongata, and all that kind of thing. Right. Now, when this brain, gets a flow of the blood, the innumerable number of blood vessels are running in your brain. Because it can allow any water accumulation there. No inflammatory load is allowed there.
Okay.
So, when this blood is fully contaminated with your food, it contaminates or it has its own impact over your thinking process.
Contaminated meaning?
Contaminated meaning means the food particles are there in the blood.
Okay.
50% of your blood is plasma.
Yeah.
50% of your blood is RBC, WBC and platelets.
Yeah.
Now this blood is also having your food particles, right? Your glucose, your fructose, your so many other proteins, so much is there.
Right.
That's going to have an impact on your thinking process, I said.
Okay.
So the food is directly related to the human thought.
Okay.
Now I'll tell you, for example,
Yeah.
if you go without salt in your food, that means zero salt diet.
Yeah, we had spoken about this in one of your sessions.
Yeah, zero salt diet when you go in. The external body discharge salt within 3 days, 72 hours.
Yeah.
The internal organs will discharge salt from 0 to 27 days. But the nervous system will take 90 days to discharge salt. Because the salt is not coming in, body will quickly clear the salt inside. 0 to 3 days for external body, 27 days for the internal organ, 90 days for. Within the 90 days I'm saying, 0 to 3, 0 to 27, 0 to 90. Once you cross 45, 48 days or 50 days of zero salt diet, your entire thinking goes through a lot of transformation.
Okay.
That means you can understand the component called sodium chloride, salt, has a tremendous effect on your thinking process.
Good way or bad way? How?
Good
does
way.
it? Okay.
You become very clear in your thinking.
With less salt.
You become profound with your targeted thinking.
With less salt.
Zero salt.
Wow.
Less salt, zero salt.
Okay.
No less salt here. Unless you become zero salt. The body becomes so free, after 48 days, no one can walk with you.
That you've told.
You will be normally walking, we will be running behind you. And the transformation goes through your thinking process in the brain. Becomes very, 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 very distinct and different. Because I have practiced this twice.
But these are extreme scenarios, right?
Look, let me tell you something. Sodium chloride is a very, very tricky thing for people to understand. Because if there is going to be a 1 lakh species on the land of living organisms, including the plant kingdom, whatever, insects and whatever, human beings, animals, birds, so many things are there. You have 10 times more in the sea. It is 10 lakhs in the sea. 1:10 ratio. Right? So these marine biology, the biological kingdom of the living species of the marine part of the world, right? They all live in water, right?
Right.
So they have their own world, they have their own food, they eat their own food and they excrete.
Yeah.
And most of the biological kingdom is very toxic in nature as a food to the human. We can't eat all the fish. We die.
Yeah.
So the excretion of this marine biological kingdom most of it is toxic in nature. You got the point?
Yeah.
And where it goes, it gets dissolved in the water.
Right.
And what do? We draw the water onto the land, dry the water and take the salt.
Salt.
You don't know what is that, the toxic part of the marine biological excretion. So salt becomes highly an inflammatory component. Okay?
All right.
And to the salt, you bring in so much of toxin into your body. So it becomes inflammatory. Now you understand?
Yeah. But I
So
still
what
want
happens when you cut salt?
less toxicity,
Yeah.
less inflammation.
Yeah. Less inflammation, clarity will be more in your blood. Say, suppose for example, when you handling certain things, take a small cut in your finger. When we were all small, we used to use some blades or something to, sharpen up the pencils and all that. We sometimes cut our finger. The first thing we do is to, put our finger on the mouth and, suck it to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
At that time, you would have tasted your blood very salty.
Yeah. Metallic.
Right? Yeah. No, salty also. Yeah, absolutely salty.
Okay.
The blood is absolutely salty.
Oh.
So the more and more it is out of the component of salt dissolved in it, the more and more the blood becomes pure from the salt, and that itself is going to give. You're still eating food without salt, right? So you're only on zero salt diet. Your eating has not stopped. The kind of food which you are eating, whatever that you are, making bread, making idli, dosa, whatever that food you're going to eat, rice, cooked rice, all that, rotis and Indian breads and all that, you're not using salt anywhere in your sabjis and all that.
Oh God.
It's a zero salt diet, which is maybe not tasty to your tongue, but you're practicing it after 90 days. If you can, if
Continue.
No, not continue. You need sodium. You need because body is used to salt. From the day you're born, you started eating solid food after certain part of your baby life.
Infant life.
Yeah. So now, if you can get rid of salt for 90 days, your internal organs will go back by 20 years. That means, say, suppose you're practicing this zero salt diet for 90 days at the age of 40 for 90 days. After the 90th day, when the entire nervous system dissolves salt, your potency of the internal organs will go back by 20 years. That means your functional part of all your internal organs, including your brain, will be functioning as when you are 20 at the age of 40.
Yeah.
So if you want to live a healthy life, this is a tip I'm giving you. You can go without salt for 90 days in a year. Then you have to come back to salt. Now we're coming back to the topic. You understand how much food plays a role in your thinking process, your brain function with respect to your consciousness. Only going through without salt, your awareness will be extremely high. You'll be very sharp. Even the smallest thing you will notice.
Right.
Because you're so alert. Only because of one component. When all the component disappears, what happens? When you go to foodless state, that's what is practiced by the people who are in spiritual life, going to the high end of spiritual life. They go without food.
Right.
So when you go without food, what happens? Your blood slowly will become alkali in nature. Because there is no outside component coming into your blood at all. Because you're not eating food.
My God.
You drink water. But that's not going to contaminate your blood.
Yeah.
Nothing at all it is.
Yeah.
Your thymus will start functioning in a big way. Your kidneys will do a different role altogether because it is not having extra components, major components to filter.
Yeah.
Like the fructose load coming in by eating a lot of sugary products, 40% of the fructose coming in get converted to uric acid. And that's a big burden on the kidney. And huge amount of protein that you eat through your pulses, lentils and vegetables and so on. That becomes animal meat, eggs and all that kind of thing gives you a lot of proteinized food. It's a big load on the kidney. All these things are not there.
Yeah.
So the function of the kidney changes to something else, which I will not explain you here.
Why?
I'll tell you.
Right.
Then what happens with these kind of scenarios when your hematology, when your blood is good enough with respect to no impurities there because no food contamination is happening out there. It is really going to change the complete functioning of your brain. That means the hidden qualities of brain.
Like?
There are many hidden qualities of brain.
Like?
The extrasensitive perceptions.
Oh.
All those chambers will open up.
Wow. Okay.
They say, no, you can judge a book by its cover. You need to look at the book. You don't need to read it. And you know what is out there. Right? When a human being comes in front of you for any transaction, they will say yes to you, whatever you ask for.
Wow.
They cannot say no to you. That because of your aura is completely changed.
Yeah, cleansing the aura. I would like to speak about that. Okay, so this is...
So if suppose that I am the person who is practicing all these things, and then I have made my blood completely pure, and I am into that alkali stage of my blood, right? Once the blood becomes alkaline, when it goes beyond 8.5 pH value, pH is potential hydrogen. When it goes to 9, what happens is blood has the power to open up the pineal gland in the brain, which secretes certain hormones at that time, which will open up the sleeping cortex. Only one half of the cortex is functioning. Then the essence of the entire universe is stored in that sleeping cortex as bundles of information.
Why more people are not doing it if it's such a profound thing? Why?
I don't know. I have not done.
But why? Then you know so much is.
This is a theoretical part of it. Okay, practical part of it is it's been executed by people. They know what is that they have gone through. I have done certain amount of it.
How was it?
Maybe I will do more later. But then if you're going to ask me, the food is going to change your mood. Yes, it's going to change your mood. Food is everything.
So can we have food that will keep us happy?
Food can make a devil. Food can make a human. Food can make a genius. The same food can make a murderer.
Wow. How?
Okay. Because the impact, that's why I said...
No, I really want to know. Is there food that can keep us happy? It's a very simple question. Is it, some quick fix, basically.
If you consider alcohol is a food, it can make you happy.
Thank you.
Food can make you happy because if you have 3 meals a day, food can make you happy, because hunger has to be addressed. Right? Hunger cannot be ignored. Hunger drives you for everything, for the search of food. Survival is to subside hunger.
Right.
Say suppose you lived in a comfortable family and then you got a disastrous fate which you're thrown out of the gutters in the roads and you're suffering for even 1 meal a day. At that time when you get 3 meals a day, food will make you happy.
Absolutely. But that is psychological, as in situational, right? I'm asking because of, like you told about those chemical reactions or alchemy or whatever that is that we are talking about.
Yeah.
Does that, is there a selection of food that you can avoid, a selection of food that you can choose that will make you feel or be in a better mental frame?
No, not that way. No. Food is one, excess food is not good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Lesser food is not good for you.
Yeah. Fatigue.
If you're going to have
low carb,
very low carb diet, it is, brain needs a lot of fuel. It's going to make you depressed. And a balanced diet always keep you psychologically sound. Good amount of carbohydrate, moderate amount of protein, and
less amount of fat.
No, good amount of fat.
Good amount of fat.
Yeah, fat is highly required to the human body, which we have already spoken. Yeah. There are 4 types of major vitamins are transported by the fat molecules. And also brain uses a lot of fat coming in your food as fuel, which is very important to us. You don't need to stuff in yourself with too much of nuts, dry fruits. They're not good for you.
But those are fat.
They are overnourished. You're getting overnourished.
Okay.
Overnourishment is also not good.
Yeah.
Anything excess is not good.
Yeah.
So you stick to your basic food.
Regular.
From your traditional and cultural way that you have been grown, whatever 3 meals a day that you had, and that is going to help you a lot in maintaining good psychological harmony.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blue Horse. So listeners, everything in balance. Eat a balanced diet, have a balanced mood and a balanced life. So we will catch you next time. Have a great weekend.